Ranking and reviewing every Academy Award winner for Best Picture, Part 35, a movie near and dear to my heart, Rob Marshall's Chicago from 2002. The story of Chicago the musical on stage is a pretty interesting one because it was originally produced in the 1970s and then it kind of just disappeared after a few years. And then it received a wildly successful revival in the 1990s. And I suspect it was inspired by the O.J. Simpson case because Chicago is, at its heart, a biting satire of celebrity crime and celebrity trial. The revival has gone on to become Broadway's longest-running revival. I believe it might be Broadway's longest-running musical, period. It's certainly up there. And the musical's definitely been guilty of stunt casting, at least on Broadway. They've casted Christy Brinkley, Pamela Anderson in lead roles, and it's like, yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing. But as for the movie, they absolutely nailed the casting. Catherine Zeta-Jones won a well-deserved Oscar for supporting actress as Velma Kelly, this kind of hardened criminal who's already behind bars at the start of the film. Renee Zellweger as Roxy Hart is much more innocent and plays that role so well. But my absolute favorite character, my favorite performance, is Billy Flynn, played by Richard Gere. He's a smooth-talking, media-savvy lawyer. This guy walked so that Saul Goodman could run. Just look at the way the character is introduced. It's absolutely brilliant. But I guess, first off, it provides some context. So Chicago, the movie, kind of goes back and forth between the real world in Chicago and then the stage version of it. It's an editing marvel. It's one of the best edited films I've ever seen. I'd put it up there with JFK and honestly Baz Luhrmann's Elvis at this point because it's just fascinating to even think how they strung it all together. But as they're doing this on stage, there's this big grand entrance for this Billy Flynn character, and you see the silhouette behind the curtain of this super important looking man getting his shoes polished, and then the curtain pulls up, the lights change, and it's revealed that Billy Flynn is actually the guy getting down and dirty, shining the other guy's shoes. And then, of course, he breaks into song. And what's a great musical without great music? Chicago has plenty of that. The highlight for me, both as a song and as a scene, as a constructed musical number, is We Both Reach for the Gun, which features incredible vocal work by Richard Gere. It's really amazing. But there's great songs all over the place. All That Jazz, which is the opening, is wonderful. And of course, Cell Block Tango, not my favorite song, but one of the best scenes of the movie, probably the most famous scene in the movie. It's great, too. Chicago is the epitome of an underrated film to me. Of course, it's difficult to think of any Best Picture winner as underrated, but when's the last Chicago conversation you've had? When was the last time someone's like, oh yeah, let's watch a movie, let's pop in Chicago, I love that movie. It never happens, and it should, because it's great. So yes, I am a big-time Chicago fan. I think you'll be hard-pressed to find someone that would rank it higher than me. And yet, as you'll see, doesn't even crack the top 10 of the first 35 films I've seen. So again, we're talking high-quality field of films here. Some great competition. But yes, Chicago is great. It's wonderful. It's really entertaining. It's funny. The music is fantastic. The dancing is great. All the actors, not just the three leads, John C. Reilly, Queen Latifah, Christine Baranski, of course. Everyone's awesome. It's wonderful. Next time I'm going to be doing a movie that I've only seen once, and it's been quite a while. So stay tuned as we do Alfred Hitchcock's only Best Picture winner, Rebecca from 1940.